So today I'll be talking about self-pip test that is gaining its popularity not only in India but in Canada too. So I will be talking about what self-pip is, and I'll help you to understand the test so that you can start preparing for it if you are planning to do so, or you are at a very early stage or at a nascent stage. Okay. Now, self-pip stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. Now, this test is a test that is born in Canada, and it is gaining a lot of popularity because people in Canada are planning to file their PR application. They want to be permanent over there, and that is why they're asked to give two tests, either CELPIP and get CLB 10, or you can appear for French B2 level and you have to pass this test. Now, French is a bit difficult to crack because it is not our language, and English we have been learning for a long time now. So you can appear for CELPIP. So now let's understand what CELPIP is and how it can help you. Now, CELPIP is a 3 hour long test. ये 3 घंटे का टेस्ट होता है, and it has modules like reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Correct. Now, if I talk about reading will be between 55 to 60 minutes, and it will have 38 different type of questions. Now, if I talk about writing will be between 53 to 60 minutes, and it will have two tasks. The next one is listening, that will be between 47 to 55 minutes, and it will again have 38 questions in it. Last but not the least, I'll talk about speaking, which will be between 15 to 20 minutes, and it will have 8 different tasks. Now, if I tell you how this combination is striked, so reading, writing, listening, and speaking, they do not give you for one full hour. They give you for less than an hour, and they take out 5 minutes from there and they put it in speaking. So speaking becomes 15 to 20 minutes. I hope you have understood the time. Now we'll talk about the type of questions that are there in CELPIP examination. So if I start, let's start with the reading. Reading, there are 4 different type of questions. How many? 4. So the first one on the list is reading correspondence. Now, reading correspondence will have 5 to 8 questions. 5 to 8 questions, and reading correspondence means you will be given with a letter or an email from a person. You have to read that letter and email, and you have to answer some questions. And these questions are completion questions. They are not any other type of question. They're just sentence completion. You have to write one word or two word over there. Okay. Now, this email or letter will also have a reply, and some questions there are some questions in that as well which you have to answer. Okay. So this is the first type of question, and the easiest of all, that you have to solve in self-pip reading. Now, when it comes to second type of question in self-pip reading is reading to apply information, and there are between 6 to 8 questions in this. Reading to apply information means you have to read. There are two diagrams in front of you, or there are two formats in front of you, which you have to compare. Like for example, if you're going to a doctor and there are 3 different dentists in your area, or 4 different dentists in your area, how will you compare the rates, the consultation charges, and the other aspects or criterias of finalizing which consultant you should go for? So that is what is known as reading to apply information in the self-pip test, or on the self-pip test. Okay. Now, if I talk about the third type of question, which is reading for information. Now, reading for information it has 8 to 10 questions in it, and you have to read the paragraphs. You have to skim and scan the information so as to get the required or desired relevant information from the paragraphs, and you have to fill in the questions that are being asked. Okay. Now, if elaborate on all these, don't worry. If you have any questions, you can type in the comment box. I'll help you out to understand each type of question if you are not able to understand anything that I'm talking about. Okay. Now, there's a last type of question that we are discussing in reading, and this is reading for viewpoint. Now, reading for viewpoint is the most difficult or challenging question in the reading, and a lot of students struggle with this question. Now, and in this question, what they'll do is they'll ask you what is the writer trying to say, what is the tone of the speaker, whether the speaker is happy, is depressed, or they'll ask you all those type of questions. So those are also known as inference questions in English, where you have to deduce the tone of the person, or they are also called as rhetorical questions. Correct? So rhetorical question means understanding the point of view of a person. Okay, now let's come to writing. In self-pip writing, there are two tasks. You will have an email writing and a survey question. And in each type of question, you will have to write between 150 to 200 words. Okay. So 150 to 200 words you have to write. And first one will be email writing, where you will be given with a formal or an informal email. And in survey question, you'll be asked to participate in a survey, and you will give your own reasons as to which one so you'll have some choices in that. And if from those choices you have to give why you want to choose. For example, if the company wants to buy laptop, and they have two dealers or vendors who have approached them for and shared the quotation, so you have to decide now which quotation would you like to buy, or from which dealer you have to buy, and what are the reasons to it. So you have to analyze, you have to understand the text, and then answer it. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding. If I'm fast, please let me know. If I'm slow, please let me know. If you do not understand my language, I'll also incorporate some Hindi words in it. Please do let me know so I can help you out, so that I can help you out. Now, if I talk about listening, listening in CELPIP is 47 to 55 minutes. Okay, and it will have 38 questions again. Now, in listening, there are five different type of questions. Let's understand what these five different type of questions are in CELPIP. Okay, so first question in the CELPIP listening is listening to problem solving or to listening to problem solving. Correct. Now, in this question, you will be listening to an audio where there is a problem with somebody, and the other person is trying to solve that problem. So you have to listen to the conversation very carefully, understand, and then you will be asked with set of questions that you have to answer. Okay. Now, if I talk about the second type of question is listening for information, where you have to listen to the audio, and you might be asked for some facts and figures or some numbers or some colors, so that you have to find out from the audio. So this is known as listening for information. Now, if I talk about next question, which is listening to news items, where some anchor or news reader will be reading a news or giving some information like earthquake in the country or earthquake at a place, and you have to understand that news. This is little bit fast. The audio in this is little bit faster as compared to the first two, and you have to then answer some questions that are followed after the audio. Okay. Now, the next question type, which is the fourth question type, is listening to discussion, where there are two or three people talking about something, and you have to listen to their conversation and answer some questions. Okay. The last on the listening, self-help listening is listening to viewpoint, which will have 5 to 8 questions, and you have to answer those questions, and there are viewpoints that are being asked. Okay. So now, if let's come to speaking. Is if you have any questions, you can please drop in the comment box, so that I can answer those questions regarding self-pip test. Any of the questions that you want to know. Okay. Now we'll come to the last module of self-pip test, which is speaking. Speaking will be between 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, and there are 8 different tasks in the speaking test. Now, what are these 8 different type of tasks? We'll discuss in detail. The first one is giving advice. So in speaking, you will be asked to give an advice to a friend, to a neighbor, or anybody who's known to you or loved one, and your response will be recorded. So there are some sentences that you can use. I'll help you with those sentences if you want. And write cognitive English classes, or just write cognitive in the comment box, and I'll give you those templates. Okay. If I talk about a second type of question on the speaking test is personal experience. So in this question, you are asked about your personal experience, and then so your response is again recorded. Then the third question is describe a scene, where you are given with a scene, and you have to talk about that image or a picture that you see. The next one is making a prediction. Now, making a prediction means you will have to tell, you are looking at the picture, you have to tell what will happen next. Okay, so that is known as giving a prediction. Then the next question is comparing and persuading, where you have to compare different things and persuade a person. For example, as I said in in this also, you will find for example, if there are four movies and you have to compare those movies and ticket price and the location, and then you have to persuade your friend to go for a movie that you like. So that is known as comparing and persuading. Now, the third last is dealing with a difficult situation. Now, in this, you have to record your response, and how you deal with a difficult situation is what the question talks about and what it asks you. For example, your friend is in a difficult situation and you have to tell him or advise him what to do. Then the next one is opinions, where you will be asked for an opinion, and the last one is choosing, where you have to choose something. So these are the type of questions that you will have on the self-pip test. Now, self-pip, as the test suggests, or as the test stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, you'll be rated, or you'll be given marks as CLB. CLB stands for Canadian Language Benchmark. And on a scale of 1 to 12, you will be marked, 12 being highest and 1 being the least or lowest. And the requirement for Canada is CLB 10 these days. So if you are the one who wants to file a PR application, a decent score that can help you in getting the PR is CLB 10. Okay. If you need any support with this test, please let me know. I am an English proficiency test trainer, skilled and qualified to teach this test. I can help you out in passing. Just comment, or you can get in touch with Cognitive English classes. I hope you like this video, and thank you so much for joining and listening to me. Thank you so much, guys.